Straight ahead on WBKB News at 11, laughter-filled Northern Lights Arena tonight as two comedians performed. Plus, people joined in guided tours at Rockport to celebrate the last day of Michigan Trails Week. And the Wildcat Figure Skating Club chose a good day to have a fundraiser at the Alpena Farmers Market. We'll have those stories, plus your local weather and sports. WBKB News at 11 starts now.
From Rogers City to Tawas City and all points in between, this is Northeast Michigan's award-winning news team. Your source for news, weather, and sports. We are WBKB News at 11.
The lobby of Northern Lights Arena transformed into a showroom tonight as two comedians hit the stage. Adults 21 and over gathered at 7 and 9 to share some laughs. Connie Ettinger opened the show for Norm Stoltz. Stoltz has been a professional stand-up comedian for 32 years. He has performed in every state in the nation and even overseas. He says although he's done it all, live theater is the best because it's always unpredictable.
What I do is, it's very simple for me. What I do is I take the audience out of their world. They have no problems, no bills, no pools, no pets. I suck them into my world. I play with them for about an hour and I set them back down. But for that 1 hour, it's a total escape.
Ettinger took up comedy professionally after watching Stoltz perform. She has been performing for 12 years professionally and focuses her shows and her life around one phrase.
Stupid should hurt.
Exactly, stupid should hurt.
Painful.
Both comedians say they were excited to be back in Alpena after having performed here before, and they hope the comedy will stay alive in the city. Hiking, biking, and kayaking all went on today as people joined in celebrating the last day of Michigan Trails Week at the Rockport-Besser Natural Area. Governor Snyder wanted to promote Michigan as a trails state, and so Michigan Trails Week began. Today, the Friends of Rockport-Besser Natural Area led multiple tours. There was a narrative hike to the Bat Hibernaculum, a hike and bike through the quarry to sinkholes, and kayak tours of the shipwreck Portland off Besser Natural Area. Rockport State Recreation Area officially opened last June.
It's a really neat thing that we've been able to incorporate into our community because we've not had anything like this right in this area. This is our first state land that's really been set aside as a recreation area, park, or something for the public. So, you know, it's real important for northeastern Michigan.
This was the first year celebrating Michigan Trails Week at Rockport. The state recreational area is continuing to grow. The Friends of Rockport-Besser Natural Area are now working on developing a trail system and campsites. Prattscape in Alpena continues to give to the community through their once-a-month Shopping for a Cause Day. Today, a percentage of all of the store's proceeds went to the Alpena Huron Humane Society. People could stop outside of the store from noon to 2 to meet dogs and kittens looking for a new home.
Well, the Humane Society is, you know, that their kindness of trying to make sure that every animal is adopted, and they have a no-kill policy here, of course. So any opportunity that they can get out to get people to see these cute little cuddly animals makes it very hard to say no to adopting one.
Nonprofit organizations can go online and fill out a form to be chosen for a Shopping for a Cause Day. Pratt chooses a different organization each month to take part in the day, varying from youth to animals to health and much more.
The benefit to me is, as a business owner, is I get customers that might not have ever came here before because they're coming to support something, and they come in and see what we have, and so they're really surprised at what's here. So that's a huge benefit to me to do this. And then the other businesses do the same thing. Customers that are loyal to me would come to support them that they might not have come in otherwise.
Prattscape is located at the Alpena Flour Mill and open Saturdays from 10 to 4. The Wildcat Figure Skating Club set up at the Alpena's Farmers Market today in a fundraising effort. Members of the team sold hot dogs, chips, pop, and candy. All of the money raised will go toward ice fees, which keep going up, and coaching fees. Advisor Jolie Danielson said the club needs as much help as possible to keep the kids on the ice.
We're just trying to help out all the parents and the kids so we can raise as much funds as we can to offset all our fees.
And what better day to have the fundraiser as families crowded the farmers market for Kids Day. Free events were planned for kids, including live music, hay rides, a petting zoo, pumpkin carving, face painting, and much more.
We just figured today would be a great day because the kids are out here, a lot of families, and we're really taking advantage of that. And we've had a lot of sales today.
The Wildcat Figure Skating Club competes in 3 competitions across the state each year. They will be hosting a competition in Alpena on December 14th. A ribbon-cutting ceremony took place today to celebrate the opening of Rethread Boutique in Alpena. Rethread Boutique is a resale shop for kids, teenagers, and mothers-to-be. The store, located right off of US 23, opened Labor Day weekend, but family, friends, and community members gathered today for an opening celebration. With everything in store, 10% off.
When I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, Kira, I started resale shopping and loved it, and I wanted to bring something like that to the community.
Not only can people buy clothes cheap, but they can sell their clothes to the store. Peterson will buy clothes outright. Sellers can receive cash or get 20% more money if they choose to get in-store credit. Peterson said there is no other store like this in Alpena, and she is excited to bring a clean place for gently used clothes to the area. Coming up next on WBKB News at 11, Oswald Wilder faces more time in prison after a judge adds more counts to his rap sheet. Plus, while flying, you may soon be able to leave your electronic devices on during takeoffs and landings. All that and more after the break. Welcome back. In state news, Oswald Wilder is headed to trial. The judge added 3 counts of unlawful imprisonment to his rap sheet. He now faces 10 counts of sexual assault and the possibility of life in prison. Today, Wilder faced 2 of his alleged victims in person and 2 more via video conference and phone. All 4 testified in graphic... Welcome back. In state news, Oswald Wilder is headed to trial. The judge added 3 counts of unlawful imprisonment to his rap sheet. He now faces 10 counts of sexual assault and the possibility of life in prison. Today, Wilder faced 2 of his alleged victims in person and 2 more via video conference and phone. All 4 testified in graphic detail about their encounters, describing how they were beaten, stripped, and in some cases raped by a man police believed to be Wilder. Detective Daniel Brown testified that Wilder made a statement to police admitting he sexually abused all 4 women. He read Wilder's statement as evidence. The detective said Wilder targeted East Lansing. He referred to the city as the sin capital. And now it's time for some of today's top financial stories with your Money Watch. A possible government shutdown in Washington is looming over Wall Street. The uncertainty gave stocks their first weekly loss since August. The Dow fell 60 points, the Nasdaq slipped about 6. We'll get a snapshot of the labor market this week with reports from a private payroll company as well as the government's September unemployment report. For the first time, ExxonMobil will start offering benefits to legally married same-sex couples. As of January 1st, the oil giant says it will recognize all legal marriages when it determines eligibility for health care plans for its 77,000 U.S. workers. ExxonMobil is facing a same-sex discrimination suit in Illinois. It says it's following the government's lead. And airline passengers may soon be able to leave their smartphones, tablets, and other mobile devices on during takeoffs and landings. The Federal Aviation Administration is considering easing restrictions on electronic devices. Even with the changes, downloading data, surfing the web, and talking on the phone would still be off limits. GasBuddy.com and AAA of Michigan put together state and local gas prices. The highest price for gas in Alpena is coming in at $3.47 at Marathon, and the lowest is at $3.44 at Admiral. Across the state, the highest gas price is $3.99 in Grosse Isle. The lowest price for gas in Michigan is at $3.17 in Clarkston. There is still much more to come on WBKB News at 11. Shannon McGrath will be in with a look at sports, and I'll be right back with your weather forecast. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us tonight. Now let's take a look at the weather. The high was 76 degrees. The normal high for September 28th is 64 degrees, so we were higher for this time of year. The record high for this day was 84 degrees back in 1952. Today the low was 43 degrees. The normal low is 42, so we were a little bit higher for this time of year. The record low for this day was 23 degrees back in 1957. The sunrise this morning was at 7:29 and the sunset tonight around 7:20. Currently, the temperature here in Alpena is 62 degrees. It feels like 58 degrees with a humidity of 77%. Looking at our satellite and radar, we can see a little bit of cloud coverage over Alpena. Most of that precipitation, though, currently is to the west of us. However, it looks like tonight we are going to have showers mainly after 1 a.m. It's going to be a low of 58 degrees with south wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, showers mainly before 8 a.m. though, a high of 66 degrees with west wind at 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night is going to be clear with a low of 45 degrees, northwest winds around 5 miles per hour. And now taking a look at our week ahead in our extended weather forecast, it's going to be mostly sunny, at least for the beginning of the week. It's going to be partly cloudy on Thursday. We're going to get up to 76 degrees for our high on Tuesday, drop back down to 68 degrees on Thursday. Friday, we have a chance of showers, but mostly cloudy with a high of 68 degrees. And now it's time for today's photo of the day. Today's photo was sent in by Mike Dotch of Osneek. Mike says this young heron was taking a stroll on the shores of Lake Huron on a beautiful warm fall day. Thank you for sharing that photo with us, Mike. If you have a photo you would like to send us, email a photo along with a short description to news@wbkb11.com. And now it's time for some of today's top medical stories with your Health Watch. More kids than ever were vaccinated against the flu last year. The Centers for Disease Control says nearly 57% of children got the flu shot or nasal spray. That's a big boost from previous years, but health officials say there's still room for improvement. The flu vaccine is recommended for nearly everyone 6 months and older. The Food and Drug Administration plans to regulate health apps for smartphones. Industry analysts say there are more than 17,000 medical apps, but the agency plans to only focus on apps that turn a smartphone into a device like a heart monitor. And Zach Vaughter is being called the Bionic Man because his prosthetic leg responds to his thoughts. Vaughter lost his leg in a motorcycle accident. Doctors in Chicago gave him a robotic leg that's connected to his nerve endings. Signals from his brain are sent directly to the prosthetic, telling it how to move like a real leg. In national news, new insight into one of the worst firefighting tragedies since 9/11. Arizona state officials released the results of the investigation into the Yarnell wildfire that claimed the lives of 19 firefighters. Their report states lack of communication is to blame. CBS's Marley Hall has the latest.
Julianne Ashcraft's husband was one of 19 firefighters who died battling an Arizona wildfire on June 30th. She believes fire commanders could have done more to save the men known as the Granite Mountain Hotshots.
They are not mitigating risks the way they should for such a dangerous job.
The Arizona State Forestry Division says proper procedure was followed, but a 120-page report released Saturday revealed there was a 33-minute communication blackout just before flames engulfed the firefighters.
There's a period that they're moving that they haven't radioed in, and then there was no communications back and forth.
According to the state's report, the hotshots tried to hike through dry brush to a safe zone, but they had no guidance from fire commanders. At one point, they were cornered by a 70-foot wall of flames moving at 11 miles per hour. They had less than 2 minutes to clear the area and deploy their fire shelters. As the flames overcame the men, a large air tanker hovered above, ready to make a water drop, but couldn't locate the firefighters.
There is no reason with the technology we have today that they could not have had tracking units on those radios.
The investigation team is recommending that Arizona officials review their communication procedures and look into new technologies that might help track firefighters during chaotic situations. Marley Hall for CBS News.
The Yarnell fire ended up destroying more than 100 homes and burned 13 square miles before it was fully contained on July 10th. Sports is coming up next, but first Shannon McGrattan is here with a preview of what's ahead. Shannon?
The Street Cats are less than a week away from their first game this season, while the Tigers have only one game left before the postseason begins. Stay right here on WBKB for those highlights and stories as the news continues. And that game will be at 1 tomorrow. And if you remember last weekend, they beat the Washington Redskins for the first time in almost 4 decades. So if they can take down the Chicago defense tomorrow, it'll be a pretty good day for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, they need it, especially after that Red Wings loss. Hopefully we can get one win here.
Hopefully they can keep it going at home.
Well, coming up next on WBKB News at 11, a concert featuring some of the biggest names in music took place today. The price of admission, only a simple commitment. Find out what the concert was all about when we return. Welcome back. A big festival featuring some of the biggest names in music took place this afternoon on Central Park's Great Lawn. The Global Citizens Festival brought some of music's biggest names to New York's Central Park last September, a free concert for 60,000 people where the only price of admission was an online commitment to help end world poverty. The rock star behind the movement, 30-year-old humanitarian Hugh Evans, was back today for an encore. He urges Americans to sign up and become global citizens on globalcitizens.org and take action in support of the world's poor, because money alone is not going to solve the challenge. Concertgoers earn tickets by pledging support to a number of causes, from educating girls in Afghanistan to securing polio vaccines. Corporate America is doing more than just underwriting today's concert, which featured appearances by Stevie Wonder, the Kings of Leon, Alicia Keys, John Mayer, Elvis Costello, and Bono. They're expected to add the $1.3 billion donated last year to Evans' Global Poverty Project. There are 200,000 members on globalcitizens.org taking action.
That's a lot of people giving back.
That is a lot of people. And if you saw the video footage, there was a ton of people at the concert. So all of that for free.
That's a fun concert. You know, good way to raise awareness and get people back.
And there were big names there. So
yeah, seriously,
fun.
Bono?
Yeah.
I would have gone.
Me
Remember,
too.
you can read more about our broadcast stories and get the scoop on more news items online.
Just visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night.
Or, as always, add us on Facebook at facebook.com/WBKBTV.
That's it for tonight's show, but be sure to tune in again tomorrow night at 11. I'll be back with your news, and Shannon will be back here with your sports. Have a great night.